Let's begin by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position serviceable for meditation. So I think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. We try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning. We also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And we begin to let go of attending to the outside world, moving the mind inward, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are, constraining our awareness just of the body and mind. And we begin to concentrate that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air as it moves into and back out of the tip of the nostrils, giving ourselves the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and without judgment or frustration, lifting our awareness up from that distraction and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, we generate a broad, altruistic motivation for our time, trying to take a moment to intentionally widen our circle of concern, trying to embrace countless sentient beings within the field of our practice, recognizing the existential condition of all sentient beings that they, just like oneself, deeply wish to be happy, deeply wish to be free of suffering. And yet, sentient beings find themselves meeting with painful inner and outer conditions again and again without choice. They find themselves never experiencing true, genuine, lasting, perfect happiness. And yet, there are no sentient beings with a claim greater than any other in achieving their wish to be completely free of suffering, to have genuine, uncontaminated happiness. And so to work for the benefit of every sentient being without exception. It's the greatest way of using one's life and one's own success in that depends upon the content of one's mind. What are the actual familiarities, habits, tendencies of one's own mind? So we use this time to take responsibility for those tendencies, those habits, by creating new, constructive, beneficial familiarities, and states of mind from which all beneficial actions would naturally flow. And then with that motivation, we will contemplate the next verse in the 8 verses of thought transformation. Verse 7. In short, I will offer directly and indirectly every benefit and happiness to all beings, my mothers. I will practice in secret, taking upon myself all their harmful actions and sufferings. In short, I will offer directly and indirectly every benefit and happiness to all beings, my mothers. I will practice in secret, taking upon myself all their harmful actions and sufferings. So this verse introduces the training, the mental training of taking and giving, taking upon oneself the suffering of others and giving to others one's own possessions, one's own merit, one's own good qualities. This is a continuation of the ways in which we train to overcome the self-centered mind, the self-cherishing mind, the mind that wants to experience for oneself, only happiness. The mind that abhors the experience of difficulty and suffering. I begin by contemplating the ways in which sentient beings do suffer. The overt physical and mental distress experienced by all different types of sentient beings. Connecting that with an understanding that these sentient beings have been one's own mother countless times over beginningless past lives, showing us the kindness of the mother again and again. There are no sentient beings who haven't played that role countless times. So we contemplate their suffering until a deep, spontaneous wish for them to be free of it arises in the mind. We can focus on a particular type of suffering and imagine that before us is a group of sentient beings experiencing that suffering, actively experiencing it directly in front of us as though we were looking at them. And imagine that that suffering takes on the aspect of pollution, and then focus on oneself, the image of oneself in meditation, visualizing at the heart a small dark seed, and then focusing on that compassionate wish for them to be free of their suffering. Imagine that that pollution is drawn off, drawn toward oneself. Pollution begins to funnel faster and faster toward the, the heart center, and penetrates the body, begins to absorb into the heart center. Begins to absorb into that dark seed at the heart. And we imagine that that dark seed becomes more and more dense, and then when we feel as though the pollution has been fully drawn off, fully absorbed into that dark seed, we imagine that that dark seed implodes. And it is replaced by an orb of golden white light. And now we generate the wish for these sentient beings in front to not only be free of that suffering, but to be truly completely happy, content, satisfied. We imagine providing whatever they need, every type of temporal as well as ultimate source of that happiness, that satisfaction, that inner joy, inner contentment. We imagine that light rays from that orb of golden white light are extended outward, that they encircle and are absorbed into these sentient beings, carrying all that we wish for their happiness, up to and including the necessary realizations of the spiritual path leading to their complete enlightenment. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. We'll dedicate to recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in the mind, and think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. When that positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in a state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment so that I might work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you.